opposite numbers, okay? So we're gonna learn more about opposites. Really, I probably could have combined yesterday's lesson and today's lesson in one, but that would have just been way too long of a lesson. Okay, so we know about opposites, okay? And so the first little bit actually just reviews it, okay? So let's say I have a number line. And guys, for those who haven't seen it yet, I have a new marker and this blue is amazing. Just wait. Isn't this just so pretty?
Wow, it's
So
like navy.
amazing.
It's like navy and it has colors.
Mr.
So if I have this number and it's 6, how would you describe where 6 is located on this number line? McKinley.
6 above 0.
6 above 0. Okay. How else would you say that? Is there another way to say it? Marty.
6.
Just 6. Well, you have to describe to me. Tina Mrs. Barlow wants to get to 6. How is she going to do it, Hannah?
Like, oh, I forgot the word. It's like the opposite of negative. Like,
Positive.
positive.
She goes
positive.
6 in the positive direction.
Positive.
Okay. Zach, how would you describe it?
She jumps to the right 6 times.
She jumps to the right 6 times. Or could she jump to the right like 12 times and each one's a half a step?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if she takes full steps, she jumps to the right 6 times. Are those all accurate? Yeah. So which one, how do you say it?
Anyway.
You say it the way that works for you and your
Every
brain.
ones.
So Tina Mrs. Barlow, she's gone to the right 6 times, right? Now she's like, all right, I want to get to the opposite of 6. First of all, what's the opposite of 6?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. So let's take that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you tell Mrs. Barlow, teeny Mrs. Barlow, Zach, how do you tell teeny Mrs. Barlow to get to negative 6?
Jump to the left 6 times.
Jump. Okay, so
It's different this time.
you said to jump to the right. What's the opposite of right?
Left.
Left. So McKinley,
You are
you
very
said go
right.
up 6. So what are you going to tell teeny Mrs. Barlow to go to negative 6? Go down 6. You're going to use the opposite word. Would it be right for McKinley to say to go up 6 to get to positive 6 and go left to get to negative 6?
No.
No, or up and left to negative, or
Yeah.
opposites. Up and left are not opposites. When you're in like, when do you learn opposites? Is that like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade?
I know. I got preschool.
Let's say you're in kindergarten and you're learning opposites, and Mrs. Hall goes, "What's the opposite of up?" And McKinley raises her hand and goes, "Left." Mrs. Hall's gonna be like, "No." Right? So if you so once you've chosen to describe it, now was it Hannah who said positive 6? So what are you gonna say to go the opposite?
Negative.
You're gonna say negative. So as soon as you decide what language you're gonna use, then you're stuck with that language, and you need to keep using that language to describe how to get the opposite direction.
McKinley, what's the opposite of up?
That's right.
No, the opposite. Actually, no, but that would be the same, because if up is positive
Yeah.
and right is positive, then up would be opposites with left, not right.
That's gonna be a joke forever.
Wait a second. Wait.
We're not. We don't want it to be confusing. So if you want to use up, can you use up? But then you need to use down. Don't mix. Don't mix.
Is your science school today?
Just
I
make
still have lunch, Judy.
make a grid without the lines in between and make it up and left. And have the corner be but a number line, but it's like this.
Okay, squirrel moments with Mrs. Barlow.
Yay.
Actually,
That's called a grid.
Yeah.
if we have a coordinate plane, this quadrant is entirely positive. All of the x's and y's are positive.
Yeah.
This quadrant is entirely negative.
No.
No,
No.
Yes.
they're positive and negative. And that one's positive and no, that one's negative
Yeah,
and
that one-
negative.
Negative.
And then that one's positive and negative.
Whoa.
So you
It's
could
not even
go
confusing.
diagonally down to get negative. More negative. We're not going to do that today. Let's just do this. Yeah, you can shut the door. So let's talk though. Okay, so Let's talk about the opposite of opposite.
Wait,
The opposite of opposite.
Okay.
is it opposite day?
It's not opposite day.
But it's an opposite.
It actually is in this class. We should have had today be opposite day. And you can like
If
wear your
you-
clothes
if you
backwards
flip
just
it
in
up-
this class.
If you flip it upside down, it's odd. Opposite?
No, it's
Part of
do.
opposite?
It'd be ob. If we flipped it upside down, it'd be ob.
It'd be
Upside down, it'd be dope.
You'd have to mirror them.
If you went like that, like just.
Okay, so what's the opposite of 6?
-6.
What's the opposite of -6? 6. So what's the opposite of the opposite of 6?
6.
6.
It's the opposite, so -6 of opposite, that's 6.
Of 6.
But it's just so much easier to just opposite of. Wait.
Easier
just-
to say nothing.
It's easier just to say 6.
It is easier to say 6, but we're preparing you for
First.
stuff that's to come. Because let me show you an example. I'm going to show you why we're learning this. We're not doing this yet, but I'm going to show you why we're learning it. What if I say 5 minus -6?
That's negative.
So we have 5, and then we have the opposite of subtracting 6. So I could say minus negative, but I could also say the opposite of subtracting. Could I do that? Is that legal?
Wait.
Right? What's the opposite?
Adding.
Of
1,
the
negative
next
1.
So
subtract.
it's 11.
What's Gideon? Say that again. What's the opposite of the opposite? What's the opposite of a negative?
A positive.
A positive. So it's 5 plus 6.
It's 11. But if you take away one of the minus signs, then it's -1.
Then that's -1.
My brain is gonna explode.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
this stuff seems kind of easy and duh right now, but we're laying the foundations for that. Okay. And it's okay. You can do it. But we're not going to do that today because we're still laying the foundations. Because remember how math is like a staircase? That stuff, 5 minus -6, is clear up here, and we are there.
Okay, good.
So we're just walking up the
Those are
staircase,
really
and it's
tall
okay.
stairs for teeny Mrs. Barlow. Her legs are like tiny.
She's gonna have to like
Jump.
climb up the steps. Like she's a
Like a little monkey.
I mean, if they were like trampolines.
All right, so here's a question now. We've been dealing with integers, okay, which are whole numbers. Can you have an opposite of a fraction?
Yes. Wait.
Yeah, it's a whole number. Wait, no. No, you
Yes,
can't.
you can.
Yes, you can.
Opposite
No, you
of
can't.
division is multiplication. There's an opposite of everything.
But integers can't be fractions. Integers are.
Okay, so let's put integers down for a second. I'm gonna draw a stick, and one of you's gonna come up here. All right, let's use the number 1/2. Okay,
Negative half.
just 1/2. Gideon, will you come find 1/2 on my number line and mark where it is?
On both sides?
No, just 1/2.
Negative
1/2.
Positive 1/2.
Does it have to be on this side?
What number is that? That's 1/2. So where's 1/2?
Like,
Right there, right?
It's
Okay, mark it and write it down. Write 1/2 in there. All right, you can have a treat. Thank you for coming up. All right, so 1/2 is right there. Where's the opposite of one? What is the opposite of 1/2, Hannah?
Negative.
Will you come mark that on our number line?
That just negative 1/2 just sounds wrong. It's sounds, my brain doesn't like it.
Okay, so Zach's brain doesn't like negative 1/2. So we talked yesterday about if you owe me, like, so yesterday,
I want my $30.
Zach mowed my lawn,
Still want
right? We're
$30.
pretending, hey, we never did mow my lawn. You're not getting $30. So we're gonna pretend, okay, so the other day Zach mowed my lawn and I didn't pay him, right? So I owed Zach $30. So I had negative $30, right? Because I owed Zach $30. Well, Zach, somewhere in there, spent all of that money. And today, Zach, we're gonna pretend that there's vending machines in the hall. And there's a candy bar in the vending machine for 50 cents. And Zach is really, really hungry. And Zach comes to me and he says, Mrs. Barlow, can I borrow 50 cents for a candy bar? And I'm like, sure. I wouldn't actually, by the way, for reals. But in our pretend thing, I would also not stiff you the $30 for mowing my lawn. So I lend Zach 50 cents and he spends it and he eats the candy bar. How much money does Zach have? Negative 50 cents. How many dollars does Zach have?
0.5.
Negative $0.50.
Negative 0.5. Okay, Zach, does negative 1.5 sound better?
No,
All right, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way.
that smells sound worse.
I don't.
Let's draw this in black.
That smells sound
Okay, I'm gonna draw something that everybody in this room can relate to because we live in a cold place.
We live in a weird place. We live in a desert. Weather
Even
is
high
so
desert.
We live in a desert, but
We do live in a desert.
But look outside.
You live in a
Well,
high
we
desert.
just get most of our precipitation in the winter. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
Marlo.
Okay, so there's our thermometer. Okay, now I'm gonna color in the alcohol in the thermometer.
Yeah, alcohol.
It's an alcohol. Yeah, most thermometers are either mercury or they're alcohol. Most of them are alcohol because mercury, like, will like make you dead, which is a problem.
Yeah, I bet it's
I
Austin.
bet it's Austin.
You should
But
have
it's
to make
Austin.
3 hearts.
Austin! I was just talking about you.
Yay, Austin's
We're
here!
just talking about you.
Oh,
Your name is Austin.
Yeah.
No.
All right, Zach. What temperature is it?
Negative half of a degree.
Negative 0.5 degrees.
I don't.
And if it's getting colder, it's going down and it'll get to -1. If you're gonna get from 0 to -1, you have to pass through -0.5. And you have to pass through -0.25. And you have to pass through -0.34. Or, yeah, actually -3.4. And you have to pass through -0.75 and -0.89 and negative all the way to
A
-1.
negative point everything.
Negative point everything. So you can have negative fractions just like you can have positive
-0.5.
fractions. So Gideon, I want to back up though. Gideon had a hard time knowing where to graph that because he wasn't sure if it was positive or negative. How can you tell if it's positive or negative? McKinley,
If there's not a negative sign, it's positive.
if there's not a negative sign, it's one of our invisible math things. There's an invisible plus sign in front of every single number. Why don't we write it?
Because
Be
we're
confusing.
Why? Say it loud, Marty!
Because we're lazy.
Because we're lazy. It's a lot of effort.
Actually,
10
yeah,
plus
I know
5.
you'd be lazy.
Basically, if it's not negative, it's positive. So if it doesn't say anything, Gideon, it's gonna be positive and you're good. Okay. All right, Zach, are you okay on the negative fractions?
I guess.
Okay. So what about? I want to do a couple more of these. We're gonna do a different color. What about 2 and 3/4?
Negative 2 3/4.
Okay, well let's put 2 and 3/4 on the number line. Hannah, can you come? Wait, you did -1/2, so we're gonna flip your thing. And Andy, can you put 2 3/4 on my number line in green? And you can just get close, right? We know it's not gonna be perfect. Is it? It says kind of more 2 1/2. You're gonna a little more over here. Remember, I said get close. I want you to actually get close. Okay, so what's the opposite? That, by the way, that was lovely. You can grab a treat. What's the opposite of 2 3/4?
Negative 2 and 3/4.
Negative 2 3/4. Forrest, you can put that one on our board for us. That was really nice. So guys, I want you to look at something. I love Horst did that extremely well, and I'm really glad that he did. So 2 3/4 is closer to the right on the positive side. And 2 3/4 is closer
Negative.
to the left on the negative side. What's going on?
They're opposites.
Yeah.
Because they're opposites! Right? So they're going to be in the opposite place. 3 is farther away than 0. 3 is farther away than 2 from 0, right? Negative 3 is farther away than 2 than 0. Everything's going to be the opposite. It's kind of like a mirror, okay? So I think you guys, I think this is it. Like, I think we have it for today. Does anybody have any questions? Austin, you got here late. We're just so let me know if you have any questions, okay? Because we can clue you in, or you can watch the video too, because I think it worked today.